how bad a certain situation is only as bad as you let it become in your mind. There's probably a better way to say that, and I'm sure I'm sure I'll think of it. I was speaking with a brother of mine, right? He's going through some stuff. There's drama in his life, you know. We all have drama, right? And he was kind of stressed out about it, and I told him that drama is only as bad as you make it. Let me repeat that. Drama is only as bad as you make it. I'm sure we've all been there. We all end up in situations that we think are insurmountable, situations that we believe are impossible to overcome. How much of that was true, though? Right? I want you to think back to a situation that you may have been in that you stressed out about. And I mean like hardcore stressed out about, right? And upon hindsight, you realize there wasn't really a need to freak out. I bet that's happened at least once to one of you, right? We create these mountains out of molehills in our mind, right? We are put into situations that may seem terrible at the time, but how many are really as bad as you think they are? Truthfully, truthfully. And moreover, has there ever been a situation that never worked out? Now, this doesn't go for everything. There are terrible things that happen, right? If get into a car wreck and you get paralyzed, right? There's no kind of mindset that's going to make you be able to walk again, right? There is a certain type of mindset that would help you to not quit, to not give up just because you can't walk. But I'm just saying some things are pretty terrible. They just are. But do you treat everything like it's terrible? Does every bit of adversity overturn your life and your mental state? And how much of that ended up being legitimate? Genuine question. For me personally, I have been put into a lot of situations in my life that I wish I hadn't been, right? But they always had a funny way of just working themselves out over time, right? Jesus Christ said that who among you can add a single day to your life by worrying, right? And he was right. I was dealing with a particular fear. I'm not going to really share it, it's personal, but I was dealing with a fear about 5 weeks ago, right? And this verse kind of came to me, and I was like, you know what? This thing is going to happen or it's not going to happen. No amount of worrying is going to make it not happen, right? So just like, hey, worrying's not going to help. There's nothing that I could do. It is out of my hands. Now, the thing I was scared of did end up happening. Um, but none of my worrying prevented that, did it? Something's bad is going to happen. It's going to happen. And stressing about it, agonizing about it, won't change a thing. And for what it's worth, my fear being realized was actually a good thing. It actually, it seemed like a bad thing at first, but it actually set me on the road to having things worked out. It's kind of funny. I am now in a good spot, right? Everything's fine. Everything's chill. And it's just so interesting how those things work out, right? Maybe you have an overly anxious mindset, right? I used to. I still kind of do. But it's helped a lot to truly figure out what is a legitimate concern? What is a legitimate fear? Okay. What should I really be concerning myself with, right? If you think about it, there's not a whole lot. Like, there's the obvious things, right? You are diagnosed with cancer or some kind of debilitating medical condition, right? That happens to a lot of people. You could be plunged into financial ruin, right? I know some guys who are struggling with finance, right? I don't know much about finance, but I told one of these guys, right? I told him that he needs to get his head in the game, right? He was stressing, he was freaking out, and I think he might have had some reason to, right? But I told him just like, calm down, take a deep breath, figure out a plan to make this work. Okay. And he came to me like 2 days ago and he's like, thanks, man. Like, I was really stressed out about nothing, right? And all I had to do is change my mindset and get cracking, right? Get to work. And that just, I mean, that made me feel good. I don't know all the answers, right? But actually, legitimately helping someone, that's great. So I thank God for bringing this man into my life so I could hopefully help him. He's got a difficult journey ahead of him. I'm not gonna lie, he got himself into some deep doo doo, okay? But the way he got out of it was fixing his mindset, right? And all I needed was someone to come alongside him and be like, "Hey, it's gonna work out, okay? But you gotta start being proactive here. You can't just be sitting around going, woe is me, right? How could you fix it?" One very interesting thing that I've noticed, I'm about to share a technique that I've been using in my personal life to truly help my brain. Okay, a couple techniques, actually. Fish oil. I've been taking fish oil recently because my brain was feeling, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling myself, And it's actually, like, within the first day, I noticed a difference right away. And some may say it's a placebo effect. You could be right, but I don't think so. I was in a bit of a funk. I don't know what it was. Probably just lots of school stuff going on. But I took this fish oil, and I am like, it's like being high without the weed. I don't know how else to put it. I'm like happier. I'm more focused. My brain feels alive again. You know, it's really really interesting. So take some fish oil, man. Take it consistently. It's there's numerous studies. I'm actually writing a paper on some of them, but it seriously helps your brain. So yeah, definitely do that. Make sure you're hydrated. Definitely make sure you're hydrated, man. So another technique, it's gonna be a little, it's gonna be a little gross, and this does tie into one of my previous videos, semen retention. You are not at top form if you are jerking off every night or every other night. Okay, you're just not. When I said that lust was such a big existential threat for men, I think there's some definite proof there. My video on how to beat pornography is my highest viewed video currently. I think that says it all, honestly. So semen retention is basically just you don't let go of your seed, right? You're not jerking off to porn, you're not jerking off at all. You are just retaining it. And brother, after the first week, I promise you are going to feel like Superman. I'm not kidding. I have been a much more productive and joyful man since I started doing semen retention, right? It's really done wonders for me, but one interesting thing I noticed was the way I was starting to view problems in the world. Okay? You think out, or at least for me, I don't know if anyone else has this issue. Well, it's not even an issue. I don't know if anyone else has this, right? Because like with semen retention, it's typical things like increased testosterone. Uh, I don't know. You're more energetic. You're more masculine. You look better. Those things get tossed around a lot. But one thing I've noticed is that my brain stops thinking in the third dimension and thinks in the fourth dimension. I approach problems so differently now, right? And the one common factor when I'm able to do this is semen retention, so I don't know what else I could pin it on, right? But if there is a problem in my life, right, I look at it and I like view my options, and we typically tend to like box ourselves in, right? We think we have like two options, right? If you're on semen retention, you get a third option, you get a fourth option, right? And these things just come to your mind, right? Now, I would say solitude and peace can definitely help with this. So take a walk if you've got a problem. Take a walk and you know what? Talk to yourself. And I guarantee you will find some solutions. But your solutions will be enhanced, more dynamic. And one of the most powerful solutions is to just do nothing. And this is a situation that has been provided, or a solution, sorry. This is a solution that has been provided to me many, many times through the power of semen retention, believe it or not. And the power of doing nothing is a very, very powerful one because let's say you have a problem, right? You have option A and you have option B, right? Both of them require action, right? I should do this or I could do this. You're stressing out about it. You don't know which one to pick. Excuse me, sorry. You don't know which one to pick. There's a third option, and that is do nothing. And I've had so many times where I'm like, wait, why do I only have these two options? Why do I even need to do anything at all? And in most cases, I don't. There was a situation where I felt like I should do something, right? And upon further thinking, I was like, you know what? The best solution would be to actually do nothing. And I turned out to be right. I turned out to be right like that day. Like immediately. Like by the time the day was over, I was like, wow, I'm glad I chose to do nothing. Because the problem just worked itself out. Because I didn't do anything, right? I didn't make it worse, I didn't make it better, I just sat back and let things play out, right? And I think if I had done something, things would have turned out demonstrably worse. Seriously. And I think I could have got myself into a lot of crap. So there is power in just sitting back and doing nothing. You never just have two options, okay? There is always a third one. And the best way to see that is through semen retention, solitude, peace, and fish oil, right? And I know that sounds like a really weird combination, but I've applied it in my life, and it's fascinating what it's able to do. Truly, truly incredible. I know it sounds like I got a little bit off topic, but I wanted to share some advice on how to fix your mindset, right? Because it's very easy for me to say, oh, you need to fix your mindset. If I don't tell you how, I mean, you're kind of mudded, right? Let's be real. And I, again, as with most things on this video or most things on this channel, I do not claim that this will help you. It is not a guarantee. This is just what worked for me, right, in my life. And I hope it works for someone else. But the point is, things are rarely ever as bad as you think they are. Straight up. Stop making mountains out of molehills in your mind, okay? Worrying about something, It's not going to change anything. Won't change anything. And some issues aren't even issues at all. Let's be real. Some issues that you think are major problems, you can just sit back, do nothing, and things will just work themselves out, truthfully. So that's what I have got for today. I just want to say thank you for the growth on the channel. I wasn't expecting this to be doing as well as it is, right? And granted, I'm no Mr. Beast, right? I'm still pretty new, right, to the YouTube scene, as you could probably tell. But I was expecting like maybe 5 views per video. All my videos are now in the double digits, right? And my subscriber count has been growing too. And I think that's because I'm doing the Lord's work, right? And I don't say that to, gas myself up or make myself seem important or holy, but this is what God called me to do. And I think God's making it a success. So, thank you for the support thus far. I plan to keep doing this. I don't have a consistent upload schedule, as you can probably tell. But I want to try and do at least 3 to 4 videos a week, maybe. We'll see. I got a lot going on. I'm just gonna be real. I got a lot going on. But at the end of the day, I have more time than I think, and I can take the time to record a 15-minute video. So, hope this helps someone, man. Fix your mindset. Things are rarely ever as bad as you think they are. Okay? See you guys later. Peace.